welcome back to my channel. My name is SoulSisterShelley, and this is the Rising Phoenix Tribe. On this channel, we tackle life's challenges and we come out smarter, stronger, and more powerful than before, just like the phoenix that rises from the ashes. So if this is your first time here, welcome. Please subscribe, like, and share, because you're gonna wanna come back. I've got all kinds of good stuff to share with y'all. And today, this video is gonna be a follow-up from my video last week when I was talking about having a bounce back game that's bad AF. Okay, so last week when I made a video, I was talking about the 3 things that you should do to have a comeback game that's bad AF. So when you come through some difficult circumstances in life that we all do, be it a breakup or a friendship or a loss of a job or financial distress, anytime you have to have a comeback game that's bad AF, I said last week that the 3 things that you should do is number 1, forgive. Either forgive yourself or the other person, depending on the circumstances. Number 2, lean into the lesson. So figure out what you need to learn from it so you don't repeat it. And number 3, be grateful. Be grateful that you had the opportunity to learn and the universe gave you a situation that just made you stronger. So this week, what I want to talk to you all about is the 3 things that you absolutely should not do if you want to have a bounce back game that's bad AF. So here we go. All right, number 1, if you're going through something and it's difficult, the number 1 thing that you cannot do is sit in self-pity. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you are going through something and you are sitting around and you are nursing it, cursing it, or rehearsing it, that's a no-go, y'all. Just like I said about forgiveness last week, it is okay to be upset. I am all about feeling the feelings, going through them. You can't just push them down, they'll resurface later. So you absolutely have to process the feelings, but you cannot sit in self-pity. The longer you sit in self-pity, it's just like sitting in unforgiveness. I said, unforgiveness is like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. Well, you sit there and feel sorry for yourself for too long. There's no way that you are gonna have a bounce back game that's bad AF. So no self-pity. Okay? Number 2, you cannot be prideful. No pride. And what do I mean by that? Well, prideful in the sense that maybe you didn't think you did anything wrong. You're too proud to admit that you did anything wrong. Or you've got yourself convinced, you have yourself absolutely believing that it will never get better. You're totally stuck where you are because you're just too proud to admit that you're in a bad place, but you have to dig yourself out of this hole. You have to rise up. So you cannot be too proud. So that is number 2. And then number 3, and this is what I think that we are all so guilty of. I know I personally have been, but number 3, you can't have a bounce back game that's bad AF if you sit in condemnation. So what do I mean by that? Well, if we have a conscience, when we do something that maybe we shouldn't have, and I'm not saying when you have to have a bounce back game that it's always your fault, okay? But if in fact it is, and you're feeling bad about maybe some of the choices you made or things you could have done differently or boundaries maybe you could have set, and you're beating yourself up and you're sitting in condemnation, in that woulda, coulda, shoulda mode, and you're in this negative headspace, just feeling like that you are a bad person, you're not going to have a bounce back game that's bad AF. So you cannot sit in condemnation. You recognize that maybe you made a bad choice. You recognize that you did something wrong. That's actually perfectly okay. That's perfectly healthy. Like I said, that means you have a conscience. Good for you. Go high five yourself in the mirror. You should be proud. But you can't sit on that. You can't sit in that condemnation just the same as you can't sit in that self-pity. Okay? So don't condemn yourself. Don't beat yourself up too hard. We are all human. We all make mistakes, all right? Don't be so hard on yourself, all right? And if you can manage to steer clear of those 3 things, don't sit in the self-pity, don't be prideful, and don't condemn yourself for too long, and just continually remind yourself, on top of being forgiving and being grateful for the lesson and learning the lesson, just remind yourself that nothing lasts forever, that this too shall pass. Let your mess be your message. You know, let your test be your testimony. And your setback is just a setup to put you on to bigger and badder things, you know, bigger, badder, and better things. Because what do we do here on this channel? We're like the rising phoenix, y'all. We rise from the ashes. And, you know, it's this beautiful mythical bird that comes back basically from death, and it's restored and it's rebirthed, and it's, you know, smarter and stronger and more powerful than ever before. And that's what I want for you all. So if you want to have a comeback game that's bad AF, then follow the 3 principles that I mentioned last week and the 3 principles this week. Do those things last week. Don't do these things that I said this week, and you should be just fine. All right, I'm sending you all nothing but good vibes and peace, love, and happiness. Smooches. Next time.